Welcome to Pink Kink,
where we are ready to guide you through the wild and wonderful world of kink.
I'm Princess Rara.
And I'm Dara, the Electro Khaleesi.
Whether you are a baby kinkster, a seasoned pro, or just here for the entertainment, Pink Kink will help you level up your kink knowledge.
Join us as we share our own wild, sometimes awkward, but always entertaining experiences and spill the tea from our combined 30-plus years in the private and professional kink worlds.
So grab your favorite flogger or wand.
Thank you.
And buckle up. You'll learn, you'll laugh, and who knows, you might just spit out your coffee.
Let's get this kinky party started.
Want more Pink Kink in your life? Join our Patreon and get ready for a whole lot of kinky fun and exclusive perks.
As a patron, you'll unlock access to our private Discord server where you can connect with fellow kinksters and chat directly with us. You'll also score adorable pink kink stickers and enjoy a monthly behind-the-scenes podcast packed with juicy tidbits we don't share anywhere else. Plus, get sweet discounts at our Etsy shop, Pink Kink Boutique, and on our online classes at Pink Kink Institute.
But wait, there's more.
More?
Our impactful and electrifying Pink Kinksters get extras, such as bonus content and free digital downloads. Oh, and let's not forget, the Pink Standard of patrons will be recognized as producers on both the podcast and on our website, because we couldn't do this without you.
Pink Kink runs on the love and support of our amazing patrons, so join the party today. Visit us at patreon.com/pinkkinkpodcast or click on the link on pinkkinkpodcast.com.
Today's episode is produced by our electrifying Pink Kinksters. Thank you, Jay, Witcherman, Daddy J, Naughty and Nice, Butte Pain, Manda Panda, Cat, Stefan, Shadow Phoenix, Enchanted Sparrow, The Wombat, Impact Hazard, Twitch, The Midnight Girl, Sinful, J21, Daisy If You Do, Serenity, Belle, Eric, Pumpkin Pie, S'more, Hacksaw, Devoted Knight, 3 a.m. Thoughts, Crash Override, Swiper, no swiping,
Barbie, Navigator Bard, Mr. Pillsbury, Peaches, Mighty Owl, Chaos Monster, Jessa Lady, Jack, Ophelia, Lady to Kitten, Sadia Lemon, Ben, Noir, Elysium Rose, Avalia, Nora Morapora, Bricks, Wonder Chris, Cheshi, Manders, Swinging Amish, Dark Gaia, Hyper Tarantula, Sunny B, Baby Squirrel, and Freddy Queen.
I would like to start this episode off with a mini apology.
Okay.
I have a cold in my nose.
Well, hey, guess what? That's different than me having one, because I usually do.
I'm all stuffed up. And not in a good way.
Like a turkey?
Yeah, that was what I was thinking. A turkey.
Uh-huh. I know. I could read your mind. Exactly, like it's stuffed like a turkey.
That's it. So if I sound all nasally and stuffy, that's why. And I apologize.
Rara's the snuffleupagus today instead of me.
I am a snuffleupagus. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I slept with my windows open.
Don't you normally, though?
Yeah, but I slept with them wide open. And right now there's we have such a windstorm. We got a weather advisory on the windstorm. And which means it's blowing all the allergens into my house.
Don't you have a screen?
Yeah, but those little suckers can get through the screen.
That's true. All right. Well, stop being sick, okay?
I don't feel sick. I just can't breathe through my nose.
Well, I did offer to pause this one and do it at a time when you are actually not.
It's fine. I could go take cold medicine and we could, go back in time and have like a blast to the past.
Episode 8, where it all started.
Where it all went either horribly wrong or horribly right, depending upon your point of view.
Yeah, it's all about perspective. Why not?
Well, this topic is something that Dar and I both have experience in. It's very rare you can find a topic that we both have experience in. Dar's like, wait a minute, I don't even think I pulled up the notes. What's the topic again?
No, they're here.
Okay.
They're here.
Right, I'm looking at her. I'm looking at her, the look on her face, and it's like, what the fuck is she talking about? Which is a look I'm used to seeing. I get that look a lot. So I just have to remember what it is in particular she's talking about.
You get that look in every context from me. Like, it could be about the podcast. It could be about a scene. It could be about just something you did. And I'm like, what the fuck is she talking about?
I could be talking about sports ball. It is a Sunday, and my team will be losing later today.
In which case, I definitely have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. Oh my God. My work has been doing like fantasy football and like football wear your jersey Mondays and like sports teams. I keep wearing Quidditch shirts. Or like if it's college football jersey day, I wear my Baskiath t-shirt, which I don't even know if you know what that one's from.
Not a clue.
That would be the War College from Fourth Wing.
Okay. Yeah, that's still, I know about Fourth Wing, but that's about it. I've heard the name.
Yeah. Yeah. I cannot be bothered. It's sports ball. And my boss is like, come on, why don't you like join in the fun? I'm like,
Because
have
it's
you
not fun
met me?
for you.
How long have I been here? Like, what? No.
No, I love me some sports ball. Always have, always will.
No sports ball for me.
In fact, I'm actually wearing a shirt today from my team. It's not even Monday. It's Sunday, and I'm wearing my New York Giants t-shirt. If the fact that I'm still a New York Giants fan after all these years doesn't prove I'm a masochist, I don't know what else I can do to prove it.
Listen, there are people who are still Commanders fans. Talk about being a masochist.
Or Browns
Even I know
fans.
that.
Or Browns
Ooh.
fans. Or at least I'm still not the worst team in New York sports. That would be Jets. If you're a Jets fan, you have my utmost sympathies. And you will win the title of the ultimate masochist.
See, the only thing I can ever think of when somebody says that is when you're a jet for the rest of your life.
And folks, if that doesn't prove she's not a sports ball fan, I do not know what else. And I say Jets, and instead of football, she immediately breaks out into a Broadway song. Is absolutely fucking proof the girl does not know sports ball.
Okay, but can you name which musical? Can you name which musical?
West Side Story.
Okay, well, you got that one.
I was married to a drama teacher for many, many years, and I know all that I know about Broadway shows and musicals from him, which is why we're still not married.
Now you're business partners with a dramatic person.
Yeah, I just switched a husband for. Are you my work husband? My podcast husband?
Excuse me? Husband?
You want to be my podcast wife instead?
Yes, I am a podcast wife.
Okay.
I'm a work wife.
I just switched from my husband to my work wife, who also doesn't understand sports ball.
And is very into musicals. So you basically, oh God, I'm a dude. I'm your husband. Holy shit, I might actually be your husband.
That's why I said that.
Well, apparently I had a gender change, so.
No, I think you're in the gender you've always been. I think he's the one, which is why we're still not married.
I am definitely cis.
Oh, boy, are we going off topic already. 5 minutes into this, and we are so off to the side.
Wait, that's like normal, though. I don't understand. I don't understand the problem. This is normal.
Abby Normal is our normal. Now, do you know what that's from, Abby Normal?
I recognize it, but I could not tell you what it was actually from.
You disappoint me so, young lady.
Well, isn't that also like your husband? You fell over with that one. Yes.
Ding dong, we have a winner. Well done. I must give you applause.
You actually fell over?
That is from Young Frankenstein.
Oh, God. I have seen that. I just couldn't tell you a line from there to save my life.
Walk this way. If I could walk this way, I wouldn't need talcum powder.
Please don't tell my husband I forgot about the line.
I won't. I promise. I will not throw you under the bus like that.
Thank you.
Well, maybe we should get back on topic. Were we ever on topic? I don't think so. So let's get to the topic. Today, we're going to be talking about online BDSM dynamics.
Which is something that Rara and I both have experience with. See, I remembered. I brought it back.
We're coming back around. And I don't necessarily mean long distance dynamics, though some of this will be a crossover. But I wanted to focus on ones that are specifically online that probably, most likely, will never meet in real life. This type of relationship, this virtual relationship, has become incredibly common. Thanks to the internet to start with, but then with the advent of Discord servers and different things. I mean, I'm in a server that a huge amount of people have met each other through this server and are together and have a dynamic now. And I doubt they'll ever meet in real life. Maybe some will, but I think for the majority of them, they won't. And so who knew like Wi-Fi could be so fucking kinky?
No, Wi-Fi is definitely kinky.
So I, of course, started my relationship with Voldemort online. I put out a personal ad in the Daddy's Little Girls group on FetLife, and he was the first person who answered. And we did have an 18-month relationship. So it does work. I know, Dara, you had somebody you were in an online relationship with.
Several, actually. There was, I can't even begin. Let's see. I had a sub who was a fox boy, and we did stuff mostly online. I had a dominant play partner, not necessarily a relationship with, in Korea. So that 14-hour time difference was fascinating. And that was amazing. And let's see, I had a relationship that started online with my second husband. And then I moved to the area to go to school. And then we ended up getting married and subsequently divorced. I also had a long distance relationship with Wolfie, who was my sub.
I got to meet Wolfie.
Yeah.
Wolfie was very sweet.
Wolfie was very sweet. Kind of miss him.
Right. And Kink has connected people all over the world. I don't think we've had anybody yet, and I'm sure it's just a yet, in our Discord server who met and through that created a dynamic. But I've been in plenty of other Discord servers where people have met through the Discord server and entered into a dynamic with each other. So it happens. So people have met each other from all over. And I think it kind of begs the question, if you never actually meet your dominant or submissive in person, is this still a dynamic? Is this real?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Don't even.
Oh, okay. I was going to get to that, but okay. You just want to get on the record that you feel that way?
Yes, I do.
So in this episode, I promise we're going to explore that question and Dara's very profound answer.
Profound, huh? No, it's more just vehement.
It's profoundly vehement?
Sure. Yeah, I like that. That's a good one.
We'll go over red flags, things that you should and should not look for when trying to start this type of a dynamic, and ways that you can make this relationship thrive. Now, some of this might be a repeat from our long distance dynamic episode, in which case, look at you, bonus stuff. If you haven't listened to that episode yet, please do not ask me the numbers. I do not know these off the top of my head, but we have one. And if this is new to you, well, then great. Look at you. All this important information. So let's start off with one of Dara's favorite questions. Why? Why?
I like the why.
Why might somebody choose or need an online dynamic? Well, there's lots of different reasons. Let's start off with one of the easiest ones, accessibility. Maybe you've got physical disabilities or chronic illness that can make going out to the dungeon difficult.
Or to play parties, or to munches, or to literally anything.
Okay. Or maybe I know people, let's say, and we talk about this in previous episodes, somebody was blind. So going to a dungeon, getting themselves to the dungeon. I've talked to people who they're wheelchair bound and they talked about their dungeon really wasn't wheelchair accessible. All of these are going to make it very difficult for in-person play and to meet people. We always say, go to dungeons, go to munches and meet people. Well, if you can't get there, you can't meet the people. Maybe you live in a rural area or there's limited local communities, which is obviously going to reduce your options for in-person kink. We are blessed.
I lived in bumfuck nowhere, Ohio, in the middle of a goddamn cornfield.
You have my sympathies.
Yeah, I should. I deserve all the sympathies for that.
I'm a city girl through and through. I don't know anything but city life.
Well, I told you, when I was moving up there, I literally was driving up the highway and I called my friend and I said, "What the fuck is this?" And I sent a picture. And he's like, "That would be a combine." And I said, "What is a combine?"
See? And again, here we go. Sports ball girl here. You say combine, and I'm thinking something entirely different. And all my sports fans, if we have any who listen, know which combine I'm thinking about.
Well, this was some sort of farming equipment thing, and it was just on the highway. And I'm coming from fucking DC to bumfuck nowhere, living in the middle of a cornfield, Ohio. I had no idea what the hell was going on.
Yeah. No, thank you. There's also might be, even if you have local communities, maybe there's issues with them. I've talked to people, like I tried going to the Munch, but the person running the Munch is a problematic person. And so I don't want to be a part of that community, but that's the only one in my area. We are very, very blessed here. And I want to say this so that you all realize we identify and acknowledge that. We are a fucking kinky motherfucker area. I do not understand why we are so fucking. The only people I know who have more than us is, I know San Francisco's kinkier. Los Angeles might be comparable, but maybe the government. I don't know what it is, but there is almost not a night that goes by that you couldn't find a Munch someplace.
Oh my God, no. If you look on FET in this area and you do like that 50-mile radius event thing every day, multiple things a day, all day long. I could, honest to God, I was showing some idiot on a different server that I'm in was saying, and this, people piss me off, but this guy was like trying to get people in the server, the ladies in the server to like hook up with. And I said, why do people think this is a hookup server? And everybody else in the server was like, yeah, it's really stupid. And he was like, well, I'm just trying to learn. I'm new. Can you guys show me what to do? And I'm like, go to FET. He goes, well, I don't know how to use FET. I don't know what to do. There's nothing in my area. I'm like, and I sent a screenshot of like DC 50-mile radius for today. And there was gangbang after gangbang after gangbang, which is what he was actually looking for, and events and everything. And I posted it in the server and he's like, oh, thanks. That's so awesome. Will you be there? Fuck off.
I get almost once a week a message from somebody who obviously reads my profile, sees what I do, and sends me a message, I want to learn. And
Good for you.
I tend to respond going, well, then check out classes.
Like, there's so much to do in this area. Holy shit. Not to mention the unbelievable amount of online stuff.
And that kind of leads into when you are trying to find a partner who matches you with your wants and desires and kinks. Sometimes if you limit it to just the people in your local area and you are not blessed like us to have a fucking huge community with a lot of options, you need to expand your zone that you're looking in. And by having the ability to talk to people online in different cities or even countries, you maybe increase your odds of finding a good match for you. There's also safety. Online space can provide like a buffer when learning trust and negotiation skills, because you're not actually have access to your physical body.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have access to an impact scene where you could get hurt. I mean, there's a lot more safety. And if you're somebody who's new, whether you're a dom or submissive, it might be easier for you to observe and learn and ask questions in that online space. Less pressure than if you go. I see this a lot. People like, well, I want to go to a Munch, but I'm afraid I'm so new. I don't know anything. And I'm going to be surrounded by all these experienced people. Online communities also offer a great opportunity to learn. They're ideal for skill-based training, like journals or reflection prompts and check-ins. You can maybe find a mentor or somebody who's also inexperienced like you are, so you can learn together. It can be a part of an intentional training phase before you transition to in-person activities. It might be easier for you to build that emotional or mental connection, because you obviously, when you're not in the same room, you really have to focus on your communication, on your words, on creating that emotional intimacy. And often it's going to strengthen your dynamic because it's built through words, not through actions. And
it actually is. It's amazing how close you get to people online. when you don't have anything like actual physical, you get so emotionally invested in the other person. It is wild.
Well, for those of you like me who are reality show junkies, it's like Love is Blind, where because you're talking to somebody and all you have are the words and you don't have the physicality. You really dig deep into the psyche and their emotions, and you talk about things that maybe if you were together, you would focus less on because you could have that physicality. Not saying Love is Blind works, but the marriages that work are strong as fuck. So I respect that. And then, of course, we have the COVID world. There's so many more things now to be able to have these online relationships. You've got, so many people discovered online power exchanges during the lockdowns and realized it actually still works. And some people never went back to in person because the online world really fit their lifestyle and their comfort level. And it opens you up to so many more, right? One of the things in some of the other servers that I've been involved in, it's much easier in this online world, let's say, to find a group of submissives, if that's your role, or a group of I want to say dynamics, but that's not the right word, dominance. Because most of these, let's say, Discord servers have those channels. So immediately, without having to find people or really do your research, boom, there's a group in your role that you can talk to and ask questions of. I did it again. Sorry, you just so you know, you did it earlier too. I was going to call you out, but you stopped. I'm going to let you listen and find it. It wasn't me that time, but this one was. I admit it. Sorry, I'll keep my hands.
You're flailing.
No, I'm not. I am
okay,
pushing
I don't
down.
remember doing that.
It makes it much easier to find mentors or peers that you can talk to. And I respect that. I love it. I'm in an online group with other kink educators that if I was just doing in person, much harder to find those than having this Discord server specifically. I have 2 of them specifically for educators, and I love that. So let's get to the question that Dara's already answered. I'm going to let her answer it again, and then I'll go into further detail. Is this type of dynamic valid?
Yes.
There you go. All right, end of episode. We're done.
Why would it not be valid? That's like saying that, okay, like you brought up Love is Blind. That's like saying that somebody who is blind because they can't see the other person does not have a valid relationship.
Yeah, I mean, this is absolutely valid. I think the people that I see questioning the validity of this are relationships where they have never met in person and there is zero intention to ever meet in person.
So?
Exactly. So sometimes people start these online dynamics with the goal of eventually meeting. I know people who have physically relocated, ding, 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 me, because of their dynamic that started off online and became...
I mean, technically, I did too. Actually, so did Daddy J. So he and I met online, and he bought a house in my area so that because his job was more flexible than mine was. And
that's true. He wasn't he living in a different section of the DMV?
Yeah. He was, when we first met and we first started actually getting together, he worked, about 20, maybe 30 minutes south of where I was living. So it wasn't hard to meet up. A couple weeks after we started the dynamic, he got in a different position and was then in DC. And it was a lot more difficult. But by that time, I was spending every weekend at his house. But that was an 1.5-hour drive for me every weekend. And then, so after that, we were like, hey, let's move in together. So he sold his house and bought one in my original area. So he relocated to be with a person he actually met online. It happens.
It does. So is it valid? Abso-fucking-lutely. See, Dara's favorite word. It is.
I do love that word.
It is still power exchange, right? You still got consent and structure and emotional connection and mutual respect, which is what you need to make a dynamic real. The distance has nothing to do with the intention, has nothing to do with the power. Think of this, right? Long distance vanilla relationships. Nobody questions if those are real. Trust and communication are the backbone of both types of relationships. You can still argue, you can still flirt, you can still care for each other. You just do it through screens. And now, thanks to technology, you could do, well, back in my day, because I'm old, and pre-COVID, it was Skype. Now it's Zoom.
Mhm.
If you happen to have, if you have Apple, you can do FaceTiming. A lot of show, like I think Netflix does and Disney Plus, you can do sharing. So you could watch a movie together. You could have a date night where you're watching a movie together.
I think we've done that on the server too.
We did. You can do that. It's opened up so many more ways to connect with your partner. I think a lot of people question, is it truly valid? Because I think some of the kinksters who've been around a lot longer maybe dismiss this concept of virtual play. I have to tell you, I've done virtual play as both. I did as a pro dom, and then I did it just with Voldemort. And the ones with Voldemort were meaningful and special because I think that was my own dynamic. The pro dom one felt awkward. Maybe it was more just the scenario where I was hired to play his mommy, and he was my child who got a bad report card and now had to be disciplined for it. And yeah, it gets kind of awkward as I'm telling him to hit himself with a ruler and this and that. But that's just me. I know a lot of other people who that's perfectly natural and comfortable for them. I was hired by somebody else to be their dom for an entire week. And this one was even harder because they were overseas, I believe in and around maybe India. And the time difference made it really difficult because I was
Yeah.
awake when they were asleep and vice versa. But it can be virtual play. Does it require a little more creativity and thought? Of course it does. But so what? Doesn't take away from the validity of what you're doing. You can still be a quote unquote real submissive, even if you've never actually been tied up or physically spanked. Because
Well,
let's
yeah,
face it,
what if you're just into the mental side of it?
well, that's what I was going to say. Not all kink is physical. Power exchange exists in your tone and your language and the action. And as we talked about in the last episode, the intention. And it's not the physical activity. Your emotional and mental domination and submission is incredibly valid. I just went through this with Sweets. We did Locktober. And I know a lot of people who do Locktober and they actually have a cage. We didn't do a cage. There was just a mental lock. He was told, no, you can't. And for me, that was almost hotter because to me, it's easier to stay in chastity when there's an actual cage there that stops you. And a lot harder when there's nothing stopping you other than your desire to please your partner.
I've always said that whenever I did stuff like that, I would always say that it's actually more of an aphrodisiac for me to know that just the power of my will alone is what's keeping you in metaphorical chains.
Yes, I agree wholeheartedly. And I explained that to him. And if you think about it, not even just chastity, anything you do in these type of online dynamics, the fact that somebody is doing what you've told them to do for no other reason than you told them what to do. There's nobody there to prove whether you did it or not, or didn't do what you weren't supposed to. The trust is incredible. I know when I was had assignments, I could have just lied and said, yeah, I did the assignment, but that would have meant nothing and it would have diminished our dynamic. And I did it. It meant something to me. It was important to me that I keep my dominant happy by doing this. So I don't know how more real you can get. Many long-term relationships started online and they're still staying strong. Yes, some have converted from online to in-person because they relocated or whatever. But even if they just stay online, it still worked. So as with everything else, there's positives and negatives. Nothing is perfect. So the positives of online dynamics is, in my mind, improved communication. You really have to have strong conversations about your needs and your limits and your emotions early and often in the communication, because you don't have, when you are talking by phone or by text, you've removed body language. You've removed tone. You remove facial expressions. So that communication, you have to be so intentional with it and careful when you are writing things down and
You have to be
texting.
absolutely explicit about it.
So it really forces your communication skills to grow and to be honest with yourself as well as your partner and to articulate your feelings in a way that gets your point across without being mean or sarcasm doesn't work well in text. I know this for a fact. Even if you do the /s to tell them you're being sarcastic, it still loses something. So you've got to work on your communication skills and make them strong in order for this to work. And I think that's a wonderful thing. Improving your communication skills can never be bad. It deepens the emotional connection because without that physical touch, without being able to put your hands on somebody, you have to rely on words and emotional availability to make that connection with your partner. And I think that then leads to stronger trust and empathy. You really have to understand what's going on with your partner and maybe read into, I know what's going on in their life. They're not texting nearly as often. Something must be going on, and talk to them about it. And I love that about those kind of relationships. It causes you to be creative when it comes to play options. What kind of scenes are you going to be able to come up with? What kind of tasks and assignments are you going to be able to come up with? It makes you have to think outside the box. I can't just spank you. If I want to punish you, at corner time, fine, but I don't see you. So
Yeah,
what
how are you
can
supposed
you
to prove
do?
that you're doing it?
Right? Having, it's pretty standard. You have your good morning check-ins or maybe some photo tasks, but it causes you to really stop and think, what else can I do? I see this a lot in one of the servers I'm in the dominance chat. Dominance will always come in and say, hey, anybody got any ideas for things that I can do with they never refer to themselves as online dynamics. They usually say long distance, but they
Well, if
still
they're
have
a
no
long
intention
distance, they're right. Yeah.
they have
It's
no
usually
intention of
if you're
staying a
long
Zoom.
distance, you're online.
Yeah. And I love that. There's the convenience, right? Sometimes it's easier to schedule things because I just have to do this task in the time frame that works for my life versus, well, we're going to meet at this time, so I have to do it then. I can tell you, oh, well, I've got school or I've got work, so I'll do these things after. There's the privacy. Nobody's going to see this but the two of us. It's cheaper because you don't have to pay for travel or dungeon fees or scene equipment or any of that. There's cross-community learning. You've got an opportunity to meet people from all over the world. It's one of my favorite things, and to learn from different cultures and kink communities and how things are approached. Like, right? We Americans are very good at assuming that everybody does it the way we do it. And we shouldn't, because that's bad.
My eyes just rolled so far in the back of my head. I think
Are they
got
stuck? Yeah.
A little bit.
One of my online friends who lives in South Africa, who also does needles and other stuff, and we've talked, and their access to toys and equipment are different than what I've got access to. We've got needle shops that are only in Europe versus in America. And so sometimes you do have to buy supplies from a different country in order to be able to do some of these other cool things that people are doing. And I learn so much from this. So I can't see how that can be anything other than an amazing positive. And then, of course, you've got your lower physical risk. There's no risk, obviously, of immediate physical injury during scenes because nobody is laying an actual hand on you. Obviously, you've got the increased risk of emotional harm, but your physicality, I don't have to worry that I'm going to go meet you in a dungeon and now you're going to murder me.
Yeah. What did I say when I was meeting Daddy J for the first time? I gave all of my information, like where I was going to be. I gave his number. I gave all this stuff, the times, everything. And I said, if you don't hear from me in half an hour, he's killed me and turned my bones into wind chimes.
Oh, that's kind of sweet, though. Wind chimes versus, just killing you and throwing you away.
Well, yeah, but we were in the industrial district of the area, and there was like a gravel pit, and I was kind of like, I don't want to be thrown in there.
True. All right. Well, again, because there's always another side and nothing is 100% positive, let's talk about the negatives and the challenges. First, the actual lack of physical presence.
That could be a challenge.
Right? It's harder to read your body language, micro expressions, emotional shifts. You cannot feel this energy from somebody to kind of help you be a context clue to what's going on. Obviously, some forms of aftercare and play are going to be limited. You can't have actual hugs. There's no actual grounding touch. As somebody whose physical touch is one of my love languages, there's no physical touch. This is difficult. There's obviously more risk of miscommunication because, as I said, text loses tone. Messages may sound harsher or colder than was intended. Emojis can only fix so much, people, when texting, which is why we talk about the positive is it makes you work on your communication skills so you avoid this. Then, of course, and Dara, I know, has absolute experience with this, time zone and scheduling conflicts.
No, I don't have any experience with that at all.
I thought it was bad enough East Coast, West Coast, but Dara had it way worse than I did.
Korea. That 14-hour time difference was ridiculous.
It's amazing you were ever able to actually connect at the same time.
Not often. Definitely not often, especially since he was a workaholic and I am too. So it was difficult.
And you need to really work on patience and very clear expectations and intentionality. You have to make the time. It's not going to be very fulfilling if your only experience is just back and forth texting and never
I have a
actually.
question.
Yes.
Is he the reason I have a Korean man fetish now?
That I cannot tell you.
I think he might be the reason. Okay, that was it. I'm just contemplating that now.
That's fine. Hey, you know me. I'm all about self-reflection. Go for it.
Maybe I should journal it.
There we go. But you have to be very intentional and making sure that you are setting up, let's say, date night or date day, depending upon the time difference.
Night and day.
Right. And figure out, like, when you are negotiating and setting it up, be like, okay, I want to make sure at least one time a week or once every other week we connect so that we are on the phone or on a Zoom call or on FaceTime or whatever it is. And be fair. It's not always one partner that has to be up in the middle of the night to do this. Take turns. Or maybe it is only one partner because they've got the flexibility. They're working from home and they can take a nap midday if they have to, whatever it is. There is, unfortunately, the risk of deception. Let's face it, catfishing is still a fucking real issue.
For sure.
I've run into that where they're so-called military stationed overseas and they need me to send them a gift card, whatever, until their next paycheck. Not happening.
Yeah. So that's the thing. I actually used to send Wolfie a little bit here and there, but it was for him to get actual food and it wasn't much.
Well, and you'd actually met him and...
Right. There was no catfishing.
There's no catfishing. I see it a lot. And unfortunately, hate to stereotype, it happens a lot with female dominance, with femdoms, that immediately they want tribute, money, whatever. And it turns out that they never look like their picture. Half the time, they're not even female.
Right. I was actually going to point that out.
We have in the obedience app, there are rules. You are not allowed to ask for money. Period. End of story.
And I just want to point out, like, that's the thing. Wolfie never actually asked for it. I always offered.
I wish I could say that they're only good people. But as with any community, we got good and we got the bad. And online BDSM dynamics has definitely opened up room for these fake kinksters. People can fake experience titles. God knows they fake photos.
Mm-hmm.
It is awful. The amount of times I've seen a guy who I'm like, ooh, that is a sexy motherfucker. And then I find out that's not really him. He stole somebody's photos. It happens. Another negative is obviously limited physical exploration. Some kinks cannot be done on an online manner, or even if they can, right? I could spank myself for Voldemort. It's not going to feel the same as when somebody else spanks you. It might not be safe to do bondage if you're by yourself or other things. And then, of course, there's the emotional fatigue. Constant screen connection can become draining. And sometimes it's hard to sustain that intensity without giving up because you're not getting 100% fulfilled since you're never actually meeting this person in real life. So some red flags you want to watch out for before you actually get into an online dynamic with somebody is early over familiarity. Somebody says, call me sir or daddy, you're mine now, when they've barely spoken to you. Skipping negotiations or limits talk entirely. Or saying things like, oh, we'll talk about it later. Or, well, we don't need to talk about that. We're online only. Bull fucking shit. See, I'm using the way.
Using that the way God intended.
Yes. Refusal to verify. They don't want to video chat, share a live photo, or have a mutual who maybe can help you out. You have the same friends. Or they make excuses about privacy. Or I'm too important. I can't have my face shown. Really? Nobody's that fucking important.
Well,
Sorry.
I was going to say not entirely because, I don't put my face online ever either.
But there's a difference between not putting it online and getting involved in a relationship with somebody and not letting them see your face.
I would be very careful and very nervous about especially if it's right at the beginning, about them taking my face and using it somehow. Especially now with AI, you can upload your face into Sora and it will make a video of you.
Ooh, I'm almost scared to think what Sora would do with me.
Right. So I would be careful about that if it's at the beginning, but eventually, yeah, you got to build up enough trust to do it. But then, what if they create a revenge porn?
They could. I mean, that's just the unfortunate life of any type of dynamic.
Yeah, any type of relationship.
In person, too. There's been people who've done revenge porn in person. I got my very first message from somebody telling me that they had access to my OnlyFans pictures and videos.
Oh, really? They did, huh?
They could help me create security around them if I just hired them.
Wow, that's fascinating. How on earth did they get a hold of your OnlyFans?
That doesn't exist. Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm waiting for the ones that say, oh, we've got, pictures online. We'll spread them. I'm thinking, and my picture's already online. Go for it. I don't care anymore.
Well, I keep getting the one that says, it says bank alert, like my bank, and then it'll say, did you just send $750 to so-and-so? Please text yes or no. If it's a gazelle scam.
Oh, I get the iPad. Supposedly I spent like $1,100 on an iPad.
Oh, I've gotten that one too. Yeah.
Which is like, dude, I've never owned an Apple anything in my entire life.
Yeah.
I am older. I am older than Apple.
Ew. No, but the only iPad I have is like through work, and there's no way to put your banking information on it.
Yeah. If they're dismissive of your safety, you don't need a safe word. We're just online. And as we talked about, forget just physical safety, even emotional and mental safety needs a safe word. Or if they try to tell you, well, limits are only for in-person play, not for chat.
Wrong!
Well, look, humiliation is one of my limits. Guess what, folks? You can do humiliation on chat.
Yes, you can.
That has to be done. If they're being manipulative, they're trying to give you guilt trips for wanting boundaries or asking questions. If they're threatening to leave if you don't comply immediately, the answer is there's the door. Don't let it hit you on the way out. If they want control without your consent, they're demanding your passwords, their GPS sharing, or sexual acts before negotiation. It was interesting. There was a Reddit where somebody was upset because they're dominant and they were just starting an online dynamic with a new submissive. And they wanted pictures, naked pictures. And the female submissive was like, I'm not comfortable with that. No. And immediately the dominant was like, that's not okay, right? That's not okay. How dare she? And everybody else is like, actually, it's totally fine. She can totally say no. And guess what? If it's something that's a requirement for you, then she's not the submissive for you. Find somebody else, but she's not wrong.
Good for Reddit.
I was surprised. I'm not used to cheering Reddit on with right answers, especially in BDSM questions.
No, well, they did it that time.
Maybe they're being inconsistent. One week they're overly affectionate. The next week they're completely distant. The love bombing. Oh, dear God, the love bombing. Voldemort was really, really good at love bombing and it was mostly because I think he had a new relationship energy addiction. So
I could see that.
As soon as we moved past the NRE, then he went latched on to the new girl. And so all the love bombing I had gotten at the beginning kind of stopped.
Was now focused on somebody else,
Yep.
yeah.
And of course, the too good to be true claims. I'm like looking at this going, how many of these did Voldemort show? He claims
It's
to
like
be
a checklist.
Right? Claims to be a well-known dom or mentor to many without proof or community presence. And the funny thing is this is definitely something that he claimed. And he was a big man in his very teeny tiny little pond he created.
You know, what's interesting is, like, even though this is kind of a checklist for Voldemort, like, you really did he was a walking red flag.
Yeah.
And a lot of people that get sucked into this, they don't see the walking red flag. They don't see the waving pennants of red everywhere. They don't see the person drenched in red. And looking back on it, hindsight's 2020. We look at this and we go, how the fuck did we fall for this?
I was new. That's really what it comes down to. I was new. And I think most of his partners he started with were new and young. I was the only one who wasn't young, which is why I figured it out faster than his other partners. They all figured it out. I mean, every single one of them left him eventually. I just figured it out faster, and I think that's because I was older and wiser. But that's why I can look back.
Farm is fallow.
Oh, totally fallow. I could look back on this. But yeah, he tried to. It's why when we broke up, he told me I would never amount to anything in this lifestyle without him. Challenge accepted. All right. But let's say now you've studied, you've learned what to look out for, what's good, what's bad, the positive and the negative, and you do want to have this online dynamic. So how do you find one? How do you build it? Well, find reputable platforms. I know FetLife gets talked a lot about. FetLife is not a dating site, folks, but it can be helpful for making friends who eventually can turn into something more. And there are specific groups to find partners. And if you want to go into those groups, that's fine. But still be wary of all these things we talked about. Things like the Obedience app and other vetted Discord servers where you can be a part of groups where just naturally people looking for, like in the Obedience app, we have an entire channel for finding a partner so that people can write down what I am, what I'm looking for. And we know that if somebody has not put, like, I do not have anything in the find a partner because I'm not looking for a partner. So people don't reach out to me for that. Well, they're not supposed to, but they do. Because I am open to DMs, but it's supposed to be educational DMs only.
Right.
There's virtual munches and classes where you can attend online events to meet people organically. And then you get to observe how potential partners behave in these educational or group spaces. Of course, there's networking. Maybe there's overlapping community ties or mutuals. Ask trusted friends for introduction or recommendations. And then be clear upfront about what you're looking for. You're looking for a romantic relationship, a platonic one, a mentorship one. Transparency really helps prevent mismatched expectations, so nobody's disappointed. And take your time getting to know each other. There's no rush. Move from messages to video calls to a structured dynamic only when you're ready. All right, so now you've met somebody. How do you make this online dynamic work? Well, start off by defining your structure clearly. Create a written contract or a shared document of expectations and limits and goals. Make sure you're including your tasks and your rituals, the titles that you're going to use, and some sort of schedule of how often you're going to review it. Also include, are you going to have punishments? If so, what are those punishments going to look like? Are you going to have rewards? If so, what are those rewards going to look like? Don't treat this any different than an in-person dynamic. This is exactly what I would tell somebody if they were starting an in-person dynamic. It's still necessary. Now use this great invention called the internet and technology creatively. Shared calendars for task tracking, right? You can do a shared calendar on Obedience app to put in all these tasks and other things. You can use Google shared calendars to remind you this task is due. There's journaling platforms. There's Obedience also has Embrace, which is a journaling app. You can do private blogs. Again, Google Docs that you can share. There's these lovely app controlled toys for remote play. Schedule quality time. Be intentional. Have regular voice or video calls. Virtual scene nights. Watch movies together. Co-journal. Read the same books that you can then discuss. Be very intentional with making sure that you are scheduling time together to do things.
It's literally just like an in-person date. You have to, like, this is, okay, so this is actually why I say I can't do poly, because I only have time and energy to do all of this with one person. Because you have to put in the effort to make it work. It is a relationship. We keep saying that. DS relationships are relationships. So just like an in-person relationship, you have to put in the effort and put in the work.
And relationships are work, folks. Doesn't mean they're bad relationships if they require work. Sometimes they'll require more work, and sometimes it'll flow a little easier. It won't require as much. But don't think even the best of relationships require work.
Honestly, I think if they don't require work, then it's a bad relationship, because then you're just roommates.
Probably.
If you're just coasting and you're not putting in any effort, that's not showing the other person that you care about them. Putting in the effort is actually showing the care and the love.
Make sure you're still including aftercare because it matters. Whether it's voice notes, text check-ins, grounding exercises, anything you can do to make sure that you're doing okay. Sometimes, right? Like I laugh at this, but this was so crucial and really helped. Taking one of Voldemort's shirts that hadn't been washed yet and putting it in a Ziploc bag so I could sniff it like a fucking addict. Because I'm telling you, those guys' pheromones were intense. I've never reacted that way to somebody's scent. I'm not normally somebody whose scent does anything for. Other than if it's a bad scent, it will turn me off. I would fucking, like these goddamn Omegas, I would like scent mark him and stick my face in his neck and sniff him.
I do that with Daddy J.
Right. See? But making sure that you are thinking of things like that. Schedule aftercare time just like you would in an in-person scene. Make sure you are having regular renegotiations, whether it's monthly, quarterly, to discuss what's working or not. Especially with long distance, it might not, you might try something and go, yeah, this is not working the way we thought it was going to. Or things change. My schedule changed at work and now all that was working for us isn't working anymore because I can't do that. I've gone from working at home, which was also cool so I could do stuff, to now I'm actually in the office and I can't do this shit anymore. And be honest about your emotional needs. Make sure you're still connected with others in your community. You don't want to have just this online BDSM dynamic be the only connection you have to kink. You want to talk to other people. God, if I had a penny for every time, not penny because those are going away. If I had a nickel for any time somebody said, is this normal? And
there was an entire TikTok about the death of the penny. Did you see it? It's the same guy that does the generations. I'm going to send it to you.
It's weird. I still have all this collection of pennies. What the hell am I supposed to do with this shit?
Take him to the coin thing immediately.
I'm starting to see signs in different stores that say, because the penny's being discontinued, we might not have exact change to give you. I'm thinking, then you guys all have to switch. Stop being $1.99. Make it just $2 even, and let's get rid of that penny thing.
Yeah, let's do what Europe does and put the tax inside the cost, and so it's not like an extra thing.
Ooh, I like that.
Because then you can just see it, and it's there, and it's like, ooh.
Yeah, because when you buy something, you never think about the added tax. I know it's there.
Not here.
I know it's there,
yeah,
but I never...
and then you check everything out, and it's like, oh shit, 98 cents? What are we supposed to do?
No.
It's dumb.
Make sure you have multiple support systems that help you balance the relationship so that when you wonder, okay, this happened, is this normal, is this okay? You're not relying just on your other partner to tell you yes, because if they're not a good person, they may lead you astray. And then, of course, make sure that you're protecting your offline time. Don't let the 24/7 texting blur healthy independence. You're still two full human beings, or three, however many's involved in this, not just roles on a screen. Now, if you have decided that you're going to go from online to meeting in person, couple things to think about. Number one, safety, safety, safety. Make sure you're verifying identity before meeting. Be it video calls where the person's live so you know you're not being catfished. Have social media cross-check. If somebody is giving you a scene name, ask for their fucking legal name. And if they won't give it to you, then I ain't meeting you. Make sure you're meeting in public. Make sure you have a safe call. Share your location with trusted friends.
Yes, I did all of this.
I don't care if you've been in an online dynamic for a year and now meeting the person and you believe they are really who they say they are. I'm sorry, folks. I don't mean to burst your bubble, but there's some assholes out there in the world and they practice BDSM, or worse, they use BDSM as an excuse to abuse. Remember, once you've met in person, you may very well need to renegotiate the dynamic because transitioning from online to in person is going to change your energy. And the things that worked when you were not in the same room may very well not work when you are in the same room. So discuss those new boundaries and the new limits. And unfortunately, keep in mind, emotional intimacy doesn't always equal physical chemistry. If you are somebody like me who needs the physical chemistry and it's either there or it's not, just be aware that this is potential for problematic and might not work. And then respect the pace. Don't rush from digital to dungeon. It's really okay to move at a nice, slow pace and make sure you're keeping your communication open and honest as you're adjusting to all of this. Some additional things to consider if you are going into online BDSM dynamics. Cultural and language differences. Maybe you are talking with somebody from a different culture, a different country, and be mindful of the nuance and the consent language. Americans are we're special. And the way we do things is not how others in the rest of the world do things. Doesn't mean we're right, they're wrong. Doesn't mean we're better and they're not. It's just different. So be very well aware of that if you are talking with people from other countries. Privacy and digital safety is, Dara had a concern about. Avoid sharing any identifying photos or personal information early on. If you can, maybe use an encrypted chat app where appropriate. And discuss and negotiate the rules for posting about each other publicly. I talk about sweets. I have not talked about sweets till I sat down with sweets and said, all right, do I have your consent to talk about you on the podcast? And if so, what boundaries can I follow? What name may I use? All of that was discussed. I do not talk about him without having had consent. Same thing with Diesel, because I can't preach about consent and then not do it. Emotional labor. Online doms and subs often over-communicate to compensate for the distance and acknowledge the energy that it takes to come up with all these creative ways of doing things and plan for times where maybe you need to kind of slow down or take a break because you're just exhausted. Maybe you can find a mix where it's online and occasional in-person meetings. That's what I had with Voldemort. I tried to see him at least once every 3 months. Sometimes it was on his side of the country. Sometimes it was on my side of the country, so that we split things up. And just final thoughts on this whole thing. Online dynamics can absolutely be meaningful and authentic and fulfilling when built with integrity and intentionality. Knowing what you're doing, knowing why you're doing it, setting structure, and communicating honestly is the key to this being successful. As we always talk about, power exchange is not about proximity. It's about the connection and the respect and mutual empowerment. Remember, we talked about this. Both doms and subs have power. And I encourage you to follow your instincts. If something feels wrong, the odds are it is wrong. Listen to your gut. If something feels off, then don't try to allow your partner to excuse it and tell you you're imagining it, you're being oversensitive. I hate that. The minute somebody tells you that you're quote unquote being oversensitive, biggest red flag in the world to me. I don't like that.
No, I agree. I 100% agree.
If they try, and this should have been a red flag to me, and it wasn't. If you get told, well, you're new, so you don't understand. Don't like that one either. Voldemort loved to say that to me when I would, not about kink so much, but about polyamory, when I would complain about something. Instead of using it as an opportunity to teach me, I was poo-pooed. I don't like being poo-pooed.
I don't like being poo-pooed either. That sounds disgusting. That's a hard limit for me.
Well, I should have realized that when he poo-pooed me, it was with a bunch of poo.
It's okay. This is our podcast. You can say bullshit.
Bullshit.
That's bullshit.
Oh, my God. What is the voice? That's bullshit. The little kid.
Oh, shoot. What is that one? Oh, no. It's like, that's bullshit. Or something like that.
I worry when I hear people, as I said, we talk about this, right? Is this normal? The minute you are asking, is it normal? You know the answer. You know it's not. And you know it's a concern and you're worried and you got to do something about it. So if you are involved in online BDSM dynamics, I give you all the props. I'm at a point now in my life where that would not work for me. I personally need in person, but I also understand not everybody can have that. Maybe your work-life balance is such you can't have it. Maybe it's a privacy issue. I know not everybody, Dar and I are case in point, not everybody can be out and about their kink life. I just recently found out my boss's boss is polyamorous. So when I talk about being polyamorous, it's like no big deal. But not everybody has that luck.
Boss's boss?
Yep.
How'd you find that one out?
They told me.
I didn't know you were in contact with your boss's boss.
I'm not. I'm saying my boss told me.
Oh, I did not put that one together. That's hilarious.
And my boss has a friend that's polyamorous. So it's very easy for me to be polyamorous because they were already exposed to all that.
I discovered that one of my bosses is a little. And I told her. And she's like, wait, what? What are you talking about? I said, do you baby talk your husband? And she says, yeah, all the time. He loves it. I was like, uh-huh. Do you have stuffed animals that have names? Yeah, I totally do. I have like a bunch of them. Uh-huh. Like all this other stuff. And I was like, yeah, you're a little.
Ding, 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 ding. I love it. So if you've had an online dynamic, share with us what worked, what didn't. And
we got you.
We love when people send us stories. If this spoke to you and you learned something, send us a message. My favorite thing is to get messages from our listeners. Comment on the episode. Talk to us, and please. Don't just leave me here by myself.
And we will not poo-poo you.
No poo-pooing.
No poo-poo. It's a hard limit. No poo-poo.
Great poupon we might, but no poo-poo.
I don't think I would put Grey Poupon on somebody either. That actually sounds kind of vile.
See, I can't do a sushi thing, so I would more likely put a charcuterie and might have some Grey Poupon on them too. With some salami. What?
That's going to be our next one that we do. Instead of a sushi person, like hello, words. The thing that I did for Daddy J's, I did it twice. We have now done it for like the naked girl with the sushi on top. We did it for his bachelor party, and then we did it for his 40th birthday.
All right, so next one's going to be a charcuterie board?
I think it's a charcuterie board next time.
Oh, I could do that.
I think that's what we're doing.
I don't think I could be the board because I'm not flat. There's bumps and hills, food might fall off, but I could come and eat it.
Tomcat will volunteer again, I think. She did an amazing job last time. I think she will do it again.
Well, we'll have to do it and report back.
Yes. That'll be so much fun. Okay. Bye.
Bye. Thanks for hanging out with us today. If you enjoyed what you heard, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a minute of our fun and educational content. New episodes drop every Friday.
If you love what we do and want to help us keep creating, support us on Patreon at patreon.com/pinkkinkpodcast. You can also support our affiliates to benefit small businesses and us at the same time.
No extra cash? No problem. You can still help by spreading the word about your favorite kinky podcast. Share us with your friends and don't forget to rate and review us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen. Those 5-star reviews mean the world to us. And those 5-star reviews go a long way in boosting our podcast through the algorithm and reaching more listeners.
Sign up for our Pink Kink Institute classes. Shop at our Etsy shop, Pink Kink Boutique. Stay connected with us on social media. You'll find all the links on our link tree posted in the show notes.
Your support means the world to us. So until next time, stay pink
and level up your kink knowledge.